On a trip to USP Alcatraz, daytime visit as Josh and Tanis. Today is Tuesday, 24 March 2026, and I previously discussed this in the sense of an overnight trip with my soulmate Josh. And I was like, well, in the spirit of broaching soulmate residency and ruminating about surnames, those projects, as well as kind of musing about prison settings and moving in with my Josh, date TBD, at least currently. Kona's like, he's not at the door. The dog barking, Kona dog. So I talked about previously, 20 days ago, Wednesday, 4 March 2026, an overnight trip. So this is a daytime visit. So this is a similar spirit. So make a part of a multi-day mini-stop road trip to and from the San Francisco Bay Area. Since I have lived in that area in the past. I lived there for over 4.00 consecutive years in the East Bay area. So it was a kind of share. If we think of it as like a fixed, let's say it's a multi-day trip, kind of like the overnight one, then essentially what this would allow is us to kind of balance out the daytime visit, like in terms of like amount of time on island, on the Alcatraz island, on the ferry is about the same, but like with a daytime visit, as opposed to an overnight visit, we might have more time to kind of balance it with other activities if it was a fixed trip duration. And so I was thinking about how could we build in nautical a little bit. So finding a place for nautical in my life is maybe we could do like when we went, it was when I went, my parents and I went in back in 2014, we were allowed to walk around and then just had to catch a ferry back, a boat back to the mainland by a certain time. And so it's like, maybe we walk the dock in the perimeter of the island. Would we build a raft and try to escape? Like, I think there was a story of like somebody trying to escape via water, if I'm recalling correctly. I was like, I'm gonna assess, would we actually do something like that? Like walk the island and kind of assess that. And then, so there's one part, I was like, in a daytime visit too, is kind of in walking the prison. So this is USP Alcatraz, so United States Penitentiary Alcatraz. I was like, in the spirit of my cardiology experimentation, self-experimentation, so cardiology, study of the heart, perhaps make a point of giving attention/focus to medical facilities. Where can I go to the dentist? In the past, it was kind of soaking everything in, and then in doing that with my Josh, as a him and I, as an us. But also being like, ooh, can we relate that to something that's interesting for both of us, is my cardiology self-experimentation, and being like, what did they have available? Thinking about that in terms of like care facilities, but then also like, what do I do for my self-experimentation, and what does that translate to in a prison environment, as in terms of like what facilities or utilities or whatever are available, even if it's just floor space for like, exercise in one's own cell kind of thing. So there we go. That is on a trip to USP Alcatraz, daytime visit as Josh and